Hello, welcome back. So we are discussing regarding the higher order functions in JavaScript, right? So last class we have discussed regarding higher order functions, what is higher order functions, how it takes the callback, how callback is helping us to do this higher order functions on arrays, right? So those all things we have checked. We have checked two higher order functions last class, the find and the filter. So where we have checked with how the filter works, how the callback works for each element of the array in higher order functions. Okay, so all those, and we have checked with the uh, using for loop also we checked like how to do the things, and with using higher order functions how many lines of code we can minimize. All those things also we have checked in the last class, right? So basically we have introduction and what effect on the array, all those things we checked. Filter also we checked. Find, I think yeah, find also we checked. Okay, find always creates. Okay, yeah. So find some more things is there in the find. So as we discussed, like find is only find. So basically find is takes like it takes the array as an input, and it will just return the first matching element from the array. So we have already discussed last class like why we are going for find. Already we have, let's suppose we have to check for the element, so we can go for index of, we can go for includes, but index of includes will all work, always work on the static condition. Like let's suppose you are matching index of 10, 12, 13, so something is static data, but based on some conditional check, based on some conditional operator, if you want anything from the arrays to find out, that sense you need this find. Okay, so that we checked in the last class. Okay, so one more thing, like yeah, so find method we have checked with, like yeah, it's returning the first matching element which satisfy these conditions, right? So here we can see we have a list of number that is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we are writing find operation in the numbers, right? And this is the arrow functions or callback function we can tell. So it works on each element of the find to match the conditions. So see, we are checking like, okay, so E is here each element of the array. So it's saying like E, that is first. So 1 is less than, greater than, sorry, less than 2. One is sorry, greater than 2. No, it's not, it's false. Again 2 is greater than 2, it's false. Again 3 is greater than 2, yes, it's true. So once it finds the true condition got satisfied, then automatically that element will be returned and stored in the new array, and push that element to the new array, and that new array will be returned. Okay, that we can see in the find. Okay, next we'll go for what is the effect. Like as we are seeing, like every higher order functions, we are seeing the effect on the original array, effect on the what and all things it's doing. So let's see. So changes to the original array? No, it does not changes to any original array, right? So next, creates and return a new array. Yes, it creates or return a new array, but only in one condition in find. If any condition satisfies, if none of the conditions satisfied, then it won't return an array. That means, like let's suppose we have data with 23, 45, 67, 78. Okay, so we have created one data array and we are trying to do find. So let's suppose we are finding the number which is greater than 60. Okay, so finding the number which is greater than 60. Finding the number which is greater than 60. Okay, so these all things we are checking with. So this is our problem statement. So let's try to handle it using find directly. So I'll just write item. So this is only one condition, so that's why no need to write any bracket. Directly I can write arrow function like this. Okay, either you can write curly bracket or without curly bracket also you can just write. So just write return item greater than 60. Okay, so whatever it returns we have to store into new variable. So they'll just write result array or resultant array. I can just write, okay, and I can print. So once printing we can see, okay, so let's execute it. Index.js. So we saw the first matching which is greater than 60 is 67. So as we saw here, it's returning. What is the problem here? It's not returning in the array. I think maybe my mistake is there. Maybe it returns. Okay, maybe it's a single array, single element is there. So it's returning the single element. Always it returns the single element. So yeah, I think maybe my mistake. I have written their array. So fine, because as it is returning only one element, then no need to go for array implement, array push and all, right? So that is the thing. It's happening. So maybe by mistake I have done there. Okay, so it's fine. So it's returning whatever element is there, that element. So it's returning the number. But here, let's suppose if I do item greater than 80. So now item greater than 80 does not satisfy any of the array element, right? Either 23, 45, 67, 78. So none of the element got satisfied with this. So in that condition, find will not return the element, it returns undefined by default. Okay, it returns undefined. So here I have done some mistake. I just wrote like it's create a new array. So maybe it came from copy paste from the filter. So that is the reason it has happened. Okay, I'll just correct this. So either it returns the data or else it returns undefined. Okay, the two things. Okay, let's suppose now real scenario of find where we will use. So real scenario, let's suppose you are getting a list of user from the database. Like let's suppose 1,000 student list are there in the database. So let's create that student. So student have the name, uh, John, and class, which class it belongs to. So let's suppose it belongs to uh, ninth. Okay, let's suppose just write as a ninth. Okay, so same way other student, I'll just copy paste. So other student also 4 5 student will might be creating, and let's change their name. Okay, so let's change their name and let's make them as okay. So these are all the students. This data, let's suppose we are getting from the database, like list of all the student get from the database. So these all list we have got. Now the condition is I want only one student data, that name is Harry. Okay, that name is Harry. Fine. So directly we can write item triple equals to Harry. Okay, that is item dot name, because item is nothing but each element. So here each element is one array. So each object, sorry, each element is an object. So data, so item is nothing but it's a entire object, right? So object dot name. So item dot name. If it is Harry, then just bring it out. Okay, so give the name of Harry. So something like that, if you want to bring out later in the project, then that time we can use for find query. Okay, for one student detail if you want to collect. Okay, understood find query? Okay. Okay, so let's go for next higher order function, that is find index. So find index also works as similar to index of. Like we have one method called index of, right? So index of will return the index of first matching element from the array. If it not found in entire list of the array or entire elements in the array, then it returns -1. So same thing it does in the find index. But the difference, as I told you, difference of find index and index of is index of only works for checking with the static condition, right? But find index works for conditional checks, right? So condition based on some conditions. Okay, based on some conditions. So let's suppose here we are checking rank greater than 70, something like that. So it will just check whether any element is rank greater than 70. So it says, okay, 76 is the rank greater than 70. So it's a first match. So it returns 0, 1, 2, 3. So it returns output as 3 index. But let's suppose instead of 76, if I write rank greater than 90. So if I return write greater than 90, then I will not get any element which is greater than 90. Then in that case it returns -1. It's completely of index of feature, but just it had some conditional check for each of the element. Okay, so that because of that reason we are going for find index. Okay, and in project you will get lots of benefits of all these methods and all which we are seeing today. Okay, so that is one thing we are going to check. Here also I have not written properly, I think. Yeah, I have written. It does not create any changes in the original array. So creates and return. It does not create any array. Instead, it returns index of the element matching condition else -1. Okay. So let's check. So I'm just writing find index. Okay. So find index. I'm writing okay. Item name greater than. Okay. I'll just delete this as of now. Okay. And I'll just write same thing. Okay, now see, we are checking with item greater than 20. Let's suppose I'm just checking item greater than 20. So first matching item greater than 20, so it returns the index, right? So index is 0. But if the item is not present, if the condition does not satisfies with any of the element, like let's suppose if I'm writing item less than 20. So item less than 20, it's not present in the array, right? Because none of the item which is less than 20. So in that scenario, what will happen? In that scenario, it will come as -1. Okay, so that we have seen in the find index. Next, we'll go for map. Okay, so map, what is map? Map is not, till now you have seen the method which just filter out, which just find out. Okay, we just find filter means searching mechanism you have seen, right? So searching some element inside the array, searching some element inside, searching multiple element inside the array, right? So all those searching mechanisms, searching techniques you have seen. But now the map comes with the implementation says like anything. If let's suppose you have one array and you want to perform on every and each and every element of the array some operation to entire element of the array. So in that scenario, you can just use map. Okay, so map is it's similar to like using the for loop, but using the for loop you will change the original array, right? But using map you will not change the original array, you will recreate the new array. Okay, so map is similar to for loop. Either you are writing this multiple for loop, like I'll just write here. So let's suppose I have data which has array of 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay, and I wanted to do multiple of 3, multiple of 5, multiple of 7, multiple of 9. So just square of, so square of 3, square of 5, square of 7, square of 9. So for that what we'll do, we'll just write normal for loop. Let sorry, item of data. Okay, and we'll just do what is that, item into item. We'll just do that, right? And then we'll do data. Just try to do log and we'll do data. Okay, what happened? Okay, so it's an off operations. This also takes as an object type. So we are going for item into item, data of item equal to item into item. What happens? I think something's not using the for of loop. Let's do with some for loop. Let I equal to 0, I less than data, sorry, I less than data dot length I plus plus. Okay, so data item is not there, so data of I, data of I into data of I. Okay, so we are getting 9, 25. So 3 into 3, 5 into 5, 7 into 7, 9 into 9. So instead of this, we can just do using map method like data dot map. Okay, and we can just write item into item. That's it. So if you write this, it will just return the new array, just return the new array, and it will print the same thing. Okay, so result, this time I'm printing the result and I'm doing comment of the for loop. So let's see, so it's returning the new, so it's like changing the entire array. So this, in this case, you are seeing whatever the original array length is there and whatever returned array length is there, both are same. Okay, both are same. Fine. Now let's suppose if you want to check, okay, let's suppose I'm checking like which of the element which is greater than 5. So which is greater than 5. So I'm just writing item greater than 5. Okay, so what it happens like, it will check, okay, 3 greater than 5, no, so it replace their false. Okay, 5 greater than 5, no, false. 7 greater than 5, so 7. 8, 9 greater than 5, and 9 greater than 5, so true. So 9, so it returns like that, means always it will returns true and false. Okay, if you write the condition, okay, it returns true or false. Okay, but if you want to transform anything, it's like a transforming one form of data to another form. Like another example, if I have to give, I'll just write it here. Let's suppose I have a list of names like John, Harry. Okay, and I wanted to convert John and Harry to uppercase. Okay, to uppercase. So what I'll do, I'll just write data dot map item. Okay, so uppercase. So already we know when we do any string manipulation, string has also like immutable behavior, like it always creates a new string, right? So what happens here, so here we have to check with if I write here item dot to upper case. So if I write item to uppercase, it doesn't mean like all the items will become to uppercase and it will return like that, because this is itself a creating a new string. Okay, so I have to write it here, items equal to. Okay, I have to write it here, items equal to. So it's John and Harry. So it's like a converting entire array data into uppercase. Okay, so it's like a transforming one form of data to another form. Okay, so let's suppose if you want to convert this all string into number kind of thing, or string into object kind of thing, so that time you can go for map. Let's suppose if you want to go for, if you want to convert this John and Harry as a name John and name Harry, so what you can do, you can just write okay, is it okay, so you can just write return object name colon item. Okay, if you write this much, it will return name John and name Harry. So what we did, we converted string data into object array. Okay, string array into object array. It's like a transforming between one data type to another data type for the element. Okay, so all those things also we can do, but always in maps, whatever the result original array size will be there, always the return size also will be the same. See here also you can see the same, here also you can see the same. So it's a two element, it's a two element. Okay, so it's like a transforming one form of data to another form, that is map method. Okay, so in interviewer they might ask what is the difference between map and filter. So you have to tell map and filter. Filter is basically used for the searching, like list of data based on some condition, that is filter. But map is transforming the entire array into another form array. Okay, that is map. So the size of filter will be the size of array returned by the filter will may vary based on the condition, but the size of map will always be the same as the original array. So all those things you can tell. So these are the two difference in the map and filter. So I have here done some of the things in the map. So see here. So one more thing, let's suppose this example also I want to show you. Like let's suppose you have to implement a drop down. Drop down means I think you don't know about the drop down. First, let me show you the drop down. Okay, what is drop down? I'm trying to. So these are the drop down where list of item will be shown, and from there we'll select one of them. Okay, so drop down having the list of item where we'll show. So let's suppose you have to design this. Okay, so let's suppose you have got the data from the database. So you have got the data from the database of a student. I'll just do Control Z so that I can get the data back of the previous. Till now I could at least create it, but anyway, it's fine. Okay, so we have the data here. So these all data are coming from the database. Okay, these all data are coming from the database. It's a list of a student. But when you are creating this drop down, I want only the name of the student. I want only the name of the student, not in object format. This is not in object format, right? This is just a string of name like John, Harry, and all. So I want in this format, right? So generally using for loop, how we'll try to do generally using for loop. So we will create a new array, right? So we'll create a new array. So basically, I'll just write here, we want list of only name in new array in string format. Okay, that is our basically motto. So from here I'll just write John we want, and Harry, and Peter, and Ram. Okay, so this is my output which I want from this object array. Okay, so it's object having the multiple things, name and classes, but I want only list of name. This array can be used for my drop down, right? So if I want to convert this object into this string, so what I will do, so I'll just create a new array, right? And using for loop, I'll just, okay, so I've created one for loop. So what I'll do, I'll just take one element at a time and I'll just push that new array. So I'll just push new array dot push, what is that, new array dot push data of I dot name. If I'll do this much, it will save the data of I into the array. Now what happens, I'll just try to console.log and I'll write new array. Fine. So just clear it and check. You have got the things. Right. So you have written like for loop, created new array. Again, you are writing the push operation to the new array. And that's how you got this outcome. Right. So instead of that, what you can use, instead of all these things writing the code, directly you can use the map, because already we studied map will help to transform one form of data of array to another form. So it's like a object to string or a string to object. Okay, so let's try with map. So I'll just write data dot map item. Okay, and I'll just write item dot name. That's it. If I write this much, then automatically only it will create a new array and it will just have the list of names. That's it. Okay, so just have the list of names. So let's log it and result. Now if you see, you will get the same output, right? So map is helping for, and this is very important. This is very important because in future in project you will have to show the drop down in some pages, and you will get always in the object format only from the database. Always the data will come with the object format, object array or normal object. So that time if you want to create a drop down, then you want in this format. You want in this format, right? So if you want in this format, you have to do it, you have to convert this into this format, right? So that time directly you can use map to convert, and then that result you can use it for the what is that drop down. Okay, select drop down, you can use it for. Okay, so that is the one thing map has, this one. Now let's go for another one. So another one, okay. So if you want to delete one property from the object array, so one property, so if I want, let's suppose I have a multiple, like this object has, now you are seeing this object has only 3 fields, right? Name, age, and address. But if you go for the student object will have multiple fields, right? Name will be there, age will be there, address, qualification, their parents' name, their classes, which section they are, and what is their marks, what is their grade. So many data will be there for one student, right? So I don't want some of the objects, I don't want some of the field from that. So directly I can use map method, and I can use some object dot assign to copy, to delete that data from the map. If I want to use this object dot assign, that means it will directly affect to original array only. Okay, that's why we are doing shallow copy here. Okay, so object array we are doing, object assign we are doing, this already I have taught you. So object assign, what it does, it will just disconnect with original array to new array because it's an object, right? So disconnect. Then what we have to do, we have to do delete that address, because from here we are trying to delete the address. So that's why we are deleting the address, and then we are returning the new data. Okay, so same thing we'll do here. See, so we have name and class, but only we want name John, we want to delete the class, this one, right? So what we do, what we should do, let's see. Now let's suppose I'm just writing let data, let result equal to data dot map, okay, item, okay, and I'm just, first what I'm doing, if I'm deleting, like this item is nothing but it's each object, right? Item is nothing but it's each object. So if I try to delete, so if I want to delete one property from the object, then what we'll write, we'll just write delete item dot class. We'll write like this, right? Delete item dot class, something like that will return, right? Now return item means after deleting, return the item. So now if I try to print this, I'll just write new array, okay, and I'm writing a result. I'm writing result, okay, and same thing I'm doing for data. It's the original one, right? So I'm just writing original one. So here just I have done same thing like deleting, and we are thinking like, okay, map will create a new array and it will just store that things. So original array will not get changed, we are thinking, right? So once we execute this, you can see original array also has got changed, right? Because inside this array, there is not any string, there is an object. So wherever object reference will be there, the reference will be used. Okay, so it won't be separated. To separate this, both object and all, already we know shallow copy and deep copy. So we can go for any of the case. So for that, what we do, we have to do new obj. We can just write an object dot assign. So first we are converting, or first we are disconnecting it from the original array to new array, what we are going to create in the map. So first we'll try to disconnect. So we'll do like this and we do like this. Okay, now in this new object has no connection to the original object of the array. So now with this we are just doing this way. Now if you print, you can see new array has no class but original array has a class. Okay, so these all things will be useful for you when you are going to use in the project. Okay, so this is totally of map. Okay, map method. So as we saw, like changes to original array, no, it does not changes. Create and return a new array, yes, it's always create or return a new array. Size of array for the new array and for the original array, always it will be same, whether it satisfy the condition or does not satisfy the condition, right? Always the size will be same. Return type, it always returns in array, even the condition does not satisfy. So any condition is not satisfied, even though it will return array. Okay, so that is map method. So map method already we have discussed. Now here comes with every method, right? So I think for today we can stop this much only. So I think we have covered it today. Find index, and then map. Three method I think we can cover it. Tomorrow we'll cover every method and some method and for each with reduce. Okay, with reduce. Okay, fine. So let's close the class today. Okay, so any doubt you have, you can ask. Okay, thank you.